Hello, what's up? Welcome back to GECKMAIL. GECKMAIL is what I am calling the version of this podcast where I don't take any phone calls and I just rant alone for an hour or so and read emails. It's been a new development in my podcasting journey. I felt like I should switch it up a little bit. Again, I don't know. I'm probably not going to do this every single week, but I'm having fun with it, and so I'm going to keep going. I guess before we start, I'm just gonna say, if you live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, I am coming to your city to do my final Therapy Gecko show of the year on November 24th, and before that, I will be going to Europe and the United Kingdom to do Therapy Gecko shows in Amsterdam, Berlin, Manchester, London, Cologne, Dublin, and Glasgow. And if you want to get tickets for any of those, you can do it at therapygeckotour.com. That's my only little plug. So let's start talking about stuff. I'm trying to start these episodes by just talking about like things from my life or my week, and I only have two of them. So the first one is I was watching porn last night. and I was on Pornhub, and a little ad came up, and the ad, it said like, watch fat ugly guys fuck hot girls. And it showed a picture of a guy naked next to a hot girl. And I swear to God, I swear on my life, the guy in the picture had the exact same body as me. Exactly the same. His hair was placed the exact same way. His belly looked the exact same. And it was a bit of a wake-up call for me. I took a screenshot of it, so I can refer back to it. So, listen, I don't want to be on the record saying that my weight loss journey is starting soon, because then people will shove it in my face a year later if I get fatter. But that shocked and appalled me, I will say. But it's good. Actually, it didn't. It more so motivated me. It confirmed there's something kind of nice about like an objective confirmation that you gotta do something. Anyway, that's one thing. The other thing is, this was today. I try pretty hard to not be judgmental on this show, and in my I try in my real life to not be judgmental. And this is a recent thing. This is like since I've started. I think throughout my life I've tried to be judgmental, but I think now that it's become like a little, not like what this podcast is about, but like I just try not to be judgmental. But if you're not always actively, it's a thing you have to actively do, because as a human being, I think your default is to be judgmental and be like, fuck that guy. And so I judge people all the time because it's the human default. I can be as judgmental as any other person. And I was in an elevator to get to my apartment. But I was in my apartment's elevator, and I got on, and this girl pressed 2. And I was looking at her with a lot of judgment. I was like, what the fuck are you doing taking the elevator to the second floor? There's just literally one set of stairs. It's not like the whole thing where you have to go up multiple sets of stairs to get to the second floor. It's just one set of stairs. And I was really judging this lady for taking the elevator to the second floor. And then I realized I live on the 3rd floor. That's all it took for me to feel like I was better than this person. It's just one floor. It's like, well, no, I'm not, being lazy. I live on the 3rd floor. You live on the 2nd floor. There's a difference. That's all it took, was one floor to make me a truly much better person than this lady taking the elevator to the second floor. Okay, I'm gonna get better at doing this. I'm gonna get better at externalizing like this. But let's keep trying. Someone in the chat said, "I'm not sure I agree with humanity's default setting being judgmental." I kind of think that it is, though. I kind of think that it is. Like, it's definitely, well, because there's a lot of reasons why I think it is. I think, well, one, it's fun. It's really it feels good. It feels good. Like, it's in the same way that, like, eating candy feels good and smoking weed feels good and all these other, like, you know, fucking hating someone and thinking that they suck and you're so much better than them. There's, like, I think it, like, scientifically probably releases a lot of dopamine in your brain. And also, you need something to grab onto. Like, you need to kind of, life is a weird, abstract thing. It's intangible. And when you can feel like you're better than someone else, you feel like you exist more. And that's, I think we all want to kind of feel like we exist. And so it helps to to look at someone else and be like, you suck. That's why I do it, I guess. Alright, should we take some emails? Should we look at some stuff? Let's do that. Let's do some emails. Alright. This is from Steph. Subject line, advice/opinion. Okay, I can do an opinion. Steph says, "Love your show. Been subscribed on Apple Podcasts since 2021. You have the ability to squeeze honesty out of people with your excellently timed responses." Thank you, Steph. "And by providing comfort through your own honesty, you're able to unlock more interesting conversations." Thank you, Steph. Okay, quick question. How should I tell my 5-year-old his dad is in prison, or should I tell him at all? Oh, God. Oh, man, I'm not the right... let me think about this. Should I wait until he understands more when he is older, or will waiting cause something emotionally irreversible? Thanks. I'm trying to debate if I have an opinion on this, because I don't have... I'm trying to remember what life was like when you were 5. Like when I was... Let's see. Let's see. My parents got divorced in... like 2003 or 1, and I was like 5 or 7, and it kind of, I think because I understood it so young, it was just like a part. I like it was something I can't remember life before that. And so maybe if you tell your kid now, like, your kid will always, like, that's the reality that they'll grow up in. I mean, I guess it's the reality that they'll grow up in, whether or not you tell them. God, I have to admit, I don't have advice for this person at all. I'm sorry. Well, he's gonna find out eventually. I get, this is one of the ones where I'd want to talk to them, because I'm curious if your son, I mean, your son probably asks about his dad, right? What are 5-year-olds like? Do they talk? Do they have thoughts and opinions about do they observe stuff? Are they real people, kind of? I guess there's probably a way to explain it. I could see an episode of Sesame Street where, like, Elmo's father is in jail for embezzlement, and like some celebrity has to come in and gently explain to him that. So I bet a 5-year-old could probably handle it. I don't know. But would someone said? Well, she also said, "Will waiting cause something emotionally irreversible?" I don't think so. I don't think that will cause something emotionally irreversible. I think if you hit him or deprived him of food, that would be emotionally irreversible. But just telling him the reality of his dad being in prison. I mean, it's not your fault that his dad is in prison. I guess my opinion, if I had to give an opinion on this, I would say you're a person who is acting with your child's best interest. And so I think as long as that's your priority, you're not going to cause emotionally irreversible damage to your kid, I think. As long as you do that and you give him food. Okay, this is from Sean. Subject line. I don't know, what's the chat? Hold on, let me see what the chat thinks. Someone says, there's 5-year-olds that shoot guns. That's true. Someone said, children themselves are known for telling the truth without sugarcoating it. So it's a possibility that... So you're really... If you just say, hey, your dad's in prison, maybe that... Maybe that's... We'll give him the... Maybe you're speaking his language there. Okay, this is from Sean. Subject line, the BBW issue. Sean says, hey there, my G. Straight to the point. I couldn't tell I'm handsome, but, like, I'm really alright. I do sports. I'm 6'1" tall. Thing is, I'm really into BBWs. For the layman, that stands for Big Beautiful Women. And, like, I broke up with my recent girlfriend because she wasn't fat and ugly enough. And also short. I forgot to mention the ugly factor. Now, when I date fat chicks that most guys will rate as a 3, they ask, why would a guy like you even call me on a date? And that's always the trap. Okay. And then he writes, I'm very, 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 very sorry if someone finds this offensive. Well, here's what I don't understand about... I guess the main thing that I don't understand about this email is, what is your issue here? I guess, in your own brain. You could observe other issues, but that's for... I don't know. What is the issue in this email? I'm really into BBWs. I broke up with my recent girlfriend because she wasn't fat and ugly enough, and now women will ask, why would a guy like you even call me on a date? And that's always the trap. Why is that a trap? You don't sound... I mean, everything else aside, I only within the last 2 seconds did it come to me that this person might be fucking with me, but part of me thinks they're not. I mean, that's cool. I mean, try to... Why is this a problem? Wouldn't it be like, this is like kind of a good... Because wouldn't it be worse for you if, like, you were like, I really can only be attracted to, like, really, really, really attractive people? Wouldn't that make your life more difficult? This is like a good thing, I guess. Yeah, because when you say that's a trap, I don't understand why you're referring to this as a trap. Anyway, okay. I mean, that's cool. This guy's got a good life. Okay. Yeah, what does the chat think? Just tell the woman that she's your type. I'm sure a lot of women would appreciate that. What? I guess so. Well, I don't. Is that like if someone says to you This is a question for the people listening. If you're dating someone and they say that you're like physically you are their type, how does that make you feel? Do you feel good? Do you feel good about that, or are you like me personally? Me personally, I have had experiences before where someone has told me they're like, I am into hairy Jewish guys, and maybe this is like a guy thing, I don't know, but when someone says that to me, I'm like, that cool, sick. I'm honored to be the hairy Jewish guy in your life at this moment. I take no issue with that. But that maybe that's not a universal. Maybe that's not universal. All right. What else does the chat say? He sounds like he doesn't think he deserves someone attractive. I didn't get that feeling from them at all. Someone in the chat says, I am an ugly guy and beautiful women like me, LOL. That's really nice. All right. This is from Spin Top. Subject line, boyfriend wants to move out. I don't. I'm unsure if you're still reading emails, but here's mine. You didn't really need to include that. My name is Daniel, and I'm currently in a relationship with another man. We both live in South Florida, and after dealing with Hurricane Milton, which fortunately did not hit us, both my partner and I have learned and come to the conclusion that due to climate change growing worse over the years, things will get worse in the state of Florida, and we will soon be living underwater. So my partner wants to move out. I've lived in Florida my entire life. I'm 22 years old. So moving out is new territory for me. And secondly, I'm currently in 2 growing punk bands. That's pretty cool. I'm really into the punk scene, and I know people who know larger artists. Me moving out would mean me leaving behind everything I've built and having to start all over. Music is my passion. I want to be like the OCs and perform in front of large audiences and make music for a living. Okay, I'm going to finish reading this before I give my thoughts. I've told him that if I were to move, I'd be interested in checking out Philly, Chicago, Jersey, or Seattle. All great cities. He's okay with Seattle, mainly because all the other cities I've mentioned to him are... He's okay with Seattle, and all the other cities I've mentioned to him are quote-unquote ghettos to him, except his home state of New Jersey. I am really unsure how the music scene is like and how the city looks over in Seattle. I'm just overall scared that I'll be leaving behind everything and end up in another city with nothing for me. I'll be losing all my friends that I have here, and I'm scared I'll end up having to give up on my dream, one currently I'm building up closer to achieving my dream. Please, Green Gecko, give me your wisdom. Sincerely, Daniel. Oh, I really like this email. There's a lot to think about here, and I feel like I have some experience. First of all, has your fucking boyfriend been to these cities? Because if it would kind of piss me off if he's just saying that they're ghettos without being there. Chicago and Philly are awesome cities. They're the 2 cities. I live in New York, but I'm constantly thinking about leaving one day, and Chicago and Philly are like next up on my list. Both like great walkable cities with a lot of public transport and culture, and I'm sure Philly and Chicago have. Here's the thing, dude. You live in around Broward County. Where the fuck is Broward County? I guarantee Chicago, Philly both have much better scenes for what you want to do than Broward County, Florida. Okay, you're like near Miami. I don't know what the Miami. When I think Miami, this is completely. I mean, I've been to Miami a bunch of times, but when I think Miami, I don't think grungy punk. I think like pristine, like DJ club people. If you want to get into some grungy like punk shit, then I mean, yeah, Philly, Jersey are the way to go. But here's what this really comes down to. Is, I suppose, you're currently in 2 growing punk bands. Okay, so basically you have a community already where you live, and you really like your community where you live, and you're afraid of having to leave it behind and start anew. There's a lot of ways to think about this. Wanting to leave Florida because it's going to be underwater is a good idea, I think. I don't know. Wanting to leave Florida because it's going to be underwater soon is not a bad idea. I mean, I'm sure that the other people, there's a bunch of people who live down there. They're probably going to figure it out. But I think if you really want to, like, listen to what you want to do, right? Listen to what you want to do. If you really want to leave Florida and you really believe that the future of your life is outside of Florida, then we can go further into reasons why you should feel confident in your decision. But if the only thing that's driving you out of Florida is your boyfriend and you're 22, it's not like you guys are fucking married and you have kids and a whole thing, then I wouldn't do this just because your boyfriend wants you to. I remember I grew up. I didn't grow up in Philly. I went to college in Philly, and I had a little comedy club in my basement in Philadelphia. It was called Cave. I ran it. I ran like a little comedy club out of my basement for 3 years in Philadelphia, and I remember when I left Philadelphia to go to Atlanta, I was feeling and I was 22. I was feeling a very, very similar way as you feel, that I had a community and I had built so much up already, and I was like, should I leave and pursue further objectives, or should I foster the growing community that I already have, and blah blah blah. And here's what I ultimately think is that you gotta operate from an abundance mindset, especially when you're fucking young. You don't want to just be like, all right, we settled, we did it, when you're 22. Yeah, operate from that abundance mindset and be like, oh, the Philly punks, I'm going to take over the Philly punk scene. I'm going to go out to shows 7 nights a week. I'm going to talk to strangers. I'm going to start putting on my own shows. I'm going to form a new band. I'm going to get involved. Because you can go to any of these fucking cities, and if you just keep showing up and putting on your own things that other people go to, you'll be fine. Right? You'll be fine. Because you're operating from a mindset that there's always going to be more opportunities for you. But if you're just doing this because your boyfriend, who kind of sounds, I was about to say he sounds like an asshole, but all you've said is that he said that these places are ghettos. I'm not gonna say he's an asshole because I don't know him, but he doesn't sound it from everything I know about him, which is limited. It sounds like, I don't know if you need to make major life decisions based on what he wants to do. But that's my ultimate feeling about this, is that wherever you go, just have an abundance mindset, that there's actually a lot more things to do and people to meet and bands to play in and music to create, and you'll be fine no matter what you do. What's the chat say? The chat just says, why are you so hairy? Are you Italian? All right. Someone said, if you've got money, just move already. The world is too nice to just stick to one location. I feel that way in a sense. I feel like if you just grow up, I feel like I mean, this person, what they said? They said that they lived. Did you grow up there? Oh yeah, I've lived in Florida my whole life. You've lived in Florida your whole life. If you've lived here your whole life, and you're 22, I think it helps the soul to see what life is like in other parts of the country and the world. Someone said, modern society tells you that you need to settle somewhere, build roots, establish a 401k. People all over have very fulfilling, non-traditional lifestyles. I agree with that very much. Oh, wait, what did someone say? Someone said, I live in Tampa, and the punk scene is way better here than in Broward, but it's even better in Seattle. Yeah, all of those places that you mentioned, bro. Yeah, dude, all those places that you mentioned are going to be way cooler than Broward County, Florida. Go have an adventure, man. Go have an adventure. Maybe, who knows? Maybe you'll find a new boyfriend. Or keep the one you have. I don't know. I don't know why I'm railing on your boyfriend. Maybe he's nice. I don't know him. Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is from Ebby. Subject line, Pool Boy Woes. Hi, Geck. Love ya. Thanks, dog. I work at a hotel with some friends. I'm the pool boy / maintenance worker. It's a nice job when it's not insanely busy. But I'm the evening worker, so I'm in charge of closing the pool, cleaning, and restocking. I got called in one morning after closing the previous night, and the pool was a mess. Dirty towels, water all over the floor, bathroom lights were on, and the pool room lights were on. Turns out the hotel front desk night shift let their buddies... Wait, okay, hold on. He's in evening work. I was too busy reading the actual... I was too busy saying the words to actually comprehend what I was reading. Okay, he's in charge of cleaning it and restocking. He got called in the morning after closing the previous night. Okay. All right, so he closes, comes in the morning, and everything's fucked up. Turns out the hotel front desk night shift let their buddies in after hours to the pool, and they didn't clean up after themselves. I had told my supervisor because if they saw that on camera, they'd think I forgot to lock the door. It's fucked up. About half the front desk workers talk down to me now and treat me like shit. My family tells me I'm a party pooper, but I was just doing my job. Your family told you you're a party pooper? To be fair, they could have cleaned up after themselves, and I wouldn't have known they were there. Is this deserved? Bro would have gotten chemical burns if it was being super chlorinated for fecal contamination. The story is funny to me now, except it's not fun when I'm on shift with those front desk workers. Love you again, Geck. You make this hell job a lot better. Wow. No, that's fucked up. Your family told you were being a party pooper? Damn, I feel bad for you. Did anybody in this situation have your back? Did you confront the front desk worker? Why do they talk down to you? That sucks, man. Bro would have gotten chemical burns if it was being super chlorinated for... Yeah, right. Yeah. Did you have to clean up that morning to clean the fucking pool, clean up after these people? Is this... Well, okay, the main question you said is this deserved? Is what deserved? Like, is your anger or your feelings valid? Yeah, of course. But the question becomes like, what do you actually do about it? Which is an interesting one. I assume you stood up for yourself and you told them that they can't be fucking around with you doing this anymore. Unless you didn't. Man, I kind of feel like a piece of shit because this is This is one of those emails where I want to. Ebby, if you hear this, this is a 2-week-old email. If you hear this, call in. I want to talk about this story because I have questions for you. I want to know how you responded to this because like here's my thing with like. There's a lot of Reddit posts out there about like, am I overreacting or are my feelings valid? And the question of whether or not one's feelings are valid is an interesting question. Because look, if you're asking me my perspective, are your feelings valid? Fucking of course they are. These people were fucking with you, right? But the question of whether or not your feelings are valid, I guess, only matters if it leads to an action of some kind, right? Like, what did you say to these people? What did you tell your boss? Are you in a position where where you really feel like you've been disrespected enough that you can go look for a job somewhere else? Are you in that financial position to be able to do that? So that's the question of like, are your feelings valid? Of course they are, but that's not the question. The question is, what should you do now? And those are all the questions I have for you. Are you in a position where if you really feel like you're in a place where your family and your coworkers and your boss are all just like out for you, like at a certain point, when do you kind of stand up for yourself and go, well, you stand up to yourself for them and you go, hey, I can't be treated this way. And then if they don't give a fuck, when are you like, okay, I need to leverage myself somewhere else? And are you in a position to do that? Can you save until you're in a position to do that? Yeah, call in, man. These are all questions I want to ask you about the situation. But no, you're not crazy for having somebody else's mess blamed on you. Oh, wait, is he in the chat? Oh, he's in the chat. Oh, okay. Hold on. Well, I don't know how this is going to work. They're all friends. He said, the funniest thing is the manager hates them, but nothing was really done. Okay. Call. He said, I'll call in when I can, but management fucking sucks here. All right. Well, man, he's in the chat. Okay, let's keep going. This is from Mackenzie. Subject line: should I transfer schools? Mackenzie says, "Hi, Geck. I transferred to university this semester. I have been taking classes in person, and I absolutely love the program I am in. With that being said, I have been considering transferring to a different school's online program for a couple of reasons. One is that it's a 2-hour commute to my school one way. Oh, Jesus, man, that's 4 hours. This program is only in person and only offered on specific days at only one time. Next semester, they wanted me on campus 4 days a week, which I can't do because I have a job that is directly related to my degree. It's the same degree, same cost covered by FAFSA. The only difference is it's online versus in person, and I have FOMO. What do you think I should do?" Well, you say you have FOMO. Well, I'm curious about what do you have FOMO about? I've been taking classes in person, and I absolutely love the program I'm in. Well, here's the thing. I can't really I'm not going to answer what I think you should do, but the questions I would have are, what do you love about the program, and what are you afraid of missing out on? And are the things you love about the program things that specifically are about being in person? And are the things you have FOMO about specifically related to being in person here? Because if you have FOMO about just you just naturally want to be around other people, if you have FOMO that you just naturally want to be around other people who are in your field and connect with them. If you choose to do the online route, I feel like there's creative solutions to do that, like a fucking Discord with the other classmates, or like weekly in-person meetups or something like that. There's I think you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, if that's what you want to do. So I guess I would say that's what I would say if I had to kind of think critically about this, is that I would look at if you decide, if you go through all the logistics and you're like, if you go through all the logistics and you are trying to make in-person work, but you've landed on like, I fucking just can't make it work, I have to do the online thing, I wouldn't, and again, you have to do your exhaustive pros and cons list before you make that decision. But if you go down the path of like, you know what, I just have to do this shit online, I wouldn't completely give up the things that you love about it. I would be like, how can I hybrid this? How can I take the things I love about being in this in-person program and find a way to sort of fulfill those vessels, sort of fulfill those desires while also doing this online program, and kind of, I guess, get creative with how you can do that. Yeah. Call in about this too. Everyone call in. You know, when I first started doing these email things, I was really just like, I want to, it's fun to rant. It's fun to talk on the podcast. But now I'm like, oh man, I feel like sometimes I'm doing the phone call podcast and I'm like, I'm letting the callers talk too much. I'm not able to talk. And then I do this one and I'm like, this is a lot of me. This is a lot of me talking. But it's fun. They're both interesting. I'm having a good time. This is from Ethan. Subject line, I was on stage with you. Oh shit, I know exactly who this guy is after. Oh yeah, I know exactly who this guy is. Hello Lyle, hope you're doing well. I went to your Philly show in September of 2023, and we talked about how I am the main interpreter for my deaf brother. I do remember you. I wanted to let you know that was a big weight off my shoulders, just getting it out there that I'm stressed about it. That's awesome. Now my family has been making more of an effort to communicate with my brother and making it less my job. Yeah, so I remember this guy, Ethan, came on stage at my Philly show a year ago, and he talked about how he's the main interpreter for his deaf brother, and that he was stressed out about having all of this responsibility and kind of like what he should do about it. Yeah, I remember that conversation. I'm also in the process of getting certified to be an interpreter, so I can possibly be able to relieve some other family members of the stress of constantly being the closest interpreter. See, we talked about that, because I was like, because he was the main interpreter for his brother, and I was like, well, can your brother, or I don't know what government shit you can get, or like, is there a way to have like some other, like someone whose job is deaf interpreting to, be with your brother so that you can go and live your own life. Yeah, we talked about that. That's cool that you're like, oh, I'm going to go be that guy for someone else. I like that. All of this is to say thank you for providing the platform where anyone can say anything free of judgment and at the very least be heard. Thanks, man. Love you, Lyle. From Ethan, a.k.a. couch.pdf on Instagram. If you want to send this guy something on Instagram. P.S. I hope you eat food and drink some water. No, like really, I hope you actually do that because you tend to joke about it. I do. Also, eat a Reese's mini cup from me. What the fuck is it? You want me to eat real food and drink water, or you want me to eat candy? Because you can't say those two things in the same email. All right. And then he sent a picture of himself. That's cool, Ethan. That's cool. This is a roundabout thing for you because you're using your freedom that your family is you're using your newfound freedom from being your brother's main interpreter to give other people the freedom from being their family's main interpreter. That's cool. That's noble. I fuck with that. Okay. Let's see. We have more things. We have more. Okay. This is from Megan. Subject line, street change. Hi, Geck. I know you have been to many cities all over the world, and I wonder how you negotiate the sometimes awkward interaction of a random person asking you for money. Well, this is interesting. I know there are a lot of different reasons why someone might ask for some spare change, and it's probably even harder now since people simply just don't carry cash as much. If you walk or take public transportation in a city, you will inevitably encounter it more, but now that I drive, it doesn't happen as much, but I'm still approached by people every now and then. In most cases, if I had some dollars or change, I would pass it on. I'm not rich by any means, but at least I can pay my bills and sleep in a warm bed at night. More often than not, however, I declined the request simply because I didn't have any money on me, or because I felt like I was also broke and struggling myself, even though, like I said, I can pay my bills and have a warm bed to sleep in at the very least. I'm sure there are many people who don't think about this at all because it rarely happens to them, but when you're a white girl walking home with a bag of groceries, you feel like you can barely afford yourself, and then someone asks for money and you don't have it because you've been using your card to buy groceries, but the person asking you for money probably can't even get a credit card. It can send you into a mind spiral. Love you, Geck. Stay green. Look, listen, I don't know. I'll say this. I don't think you have to, I don't think you have to feel bad. I don't think you have to take personal I don't think you have to be mad at yourself and take responsibility for the existence of all the poverty that exists in the world. You sound like you help out when you can, which is like, I mean, that's cool. That's, I mean, most people, will just walk right the fuck on by and not even, think about this kind of stuff. So again, it's noble to me that you even, care a little bit. You sound like you care. Here's the thing, Megan, is you care way more than like the baseline amount that you need to care to like not be a sadistic piece of shit, you know what I mean? Like the baseline is that there's people out there who like people ask them for money and then they punch them in the face, you know what I mean? Like the baseline is so low and you're skyrocketing past it by giving even a little bit of a fuck about these people. So I don't think you need to take full. I don't think you need to mentally be taking full responsibility for the existence of poverty, because it's hard. It's hard enough to like make sure in life. It's hard enough, I think, for most people to make sure that like you got your own shit, you know. If you ask, here's how I do it is if people ask me for money, I punch them in the face. No, that's not what I do. I feel kind of weird giving. Here's what I'll do. If I'm like at in New York City, you get asked for, you know, every time you walk out the street, you get asked for money. In New York City, if I'm outside, I don't like to give people like money, but like if I'm standing outside, if I'm about to go into 7-Eleven or like a food place or like a McDonald's or a bodega, these is the places that I eat. If someone asks me for money, I'll be like, I don't have any cash, but I'll buy you some food if you want food. I'll buy you food. And sometimes they say no, and sometimes they say yes. But I'll do that. Not everyone can do that. I get it. That doesn't make me. I honestly feel kind of lame that I even said that I do that sometimes. That makes me feel lame that I said that. I feel like I'm. There's nothing about me doing that or anyone who doesn't do that makes them a better or worse person. I might even cut this from the podcast because it always makes me feel like someone, I don't know, people saying that I'm a good person makes me feel weird. This is a weird, I'm not going to cut it from the podcast. We're going to keep this in. But you're fine, dude. You're fine. Don't kill anyone. Don't embezzle money from the government. You don't have to hate yourself because of this. Let's keep going. What does the chat say? Let's see here. Someone says, I will give a homeless person food or drinks, but not money because I don't know if they're going to use it to buy drugs. I thought that for a long time myself, but then I heard someone be like, well, shit, that's just what I'm going to spend it on. And that's true. That's true. What else is in the chat right now? I almost never have cash. I'm honest and say sorry and wish them a nice day. Treat people like people goes a long way. It's not lame, Geck. You're helping people. Yeah, but it feels lame to talk about. Someone said, I hate to ask for money and it feels weird to give money, though I do it, especially when I'm kind of broke. Someone says, what are other people saying? I donate regularly to a charity, so I feel that means I don't have to donate to any others. Alright. Let's keep going. Someone said, okay, this is from King Fro. Subject line, longing and despair. Hi, Gecko. I recently had a month-long tolerance break from weed because I traveled to Japan and did not have access to weed. I've been a smoker for 3 years and taken tolerance breaks before, but this time I came back. I thought it'd be the same as before, smoked a fat bowl, and then had the most intense 3 hours of anxiety and deep thinking into everything. I get thoughts about how everything is meaningless, and yet there is meaning in the meaninglessness of my life. I talked to my therapist about this, and he was lost for words because I made him think the same way, and then he told me I stumped him. Maybe asking a gecko will turn out differently. You stumped him on what? What's the question in this? Hi, Gecko. I recently had a month-long tolerance break from weed because I traveled to Japan, didn't have weed. I got anxiety about how everything is meaningless. Oh, okay, here it is. Everything is meaningless, and yet there is meaning in the meaninglessness of my life. You stumped him. This isn't. You're not. He's not like a troll under a bridge. This is just a thought that you're having. Yeah, everything is meaningless, and you kind of get to decide your own meaning. And oh, fuck, you stumped me. But this isn't a stump. This isn't a stump. This is like a stub. Like it's you've completed. This is a complete thought. Weed is so funny because you'll like smoke to get rid of anxiety, but then smoking will just give you much more anxiety. Someone says, okay, this is from Jillian. Subject line, I popped the wrong zit. There was a zit on my inner thigh. It was huge. I thought maybe popping it would bring that instant satisfaction, so I squeezed the body of the pustule and pressed in with pretty smooth force To my surprise, the whitehead was just a small pimple next to a surface-level cyst. The cyst emptied under my skin, and the texture between the squeeze was crazy. Have fun on tour. Thank you for sharing, Jillian. All right, this is from Jordan. Subject line, my roommates won't let my homeless girlfriend come over. Hello, Lyle. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 3 months now. 1 month into the relationship, my roommate and his girlfriend, who recently moved in with us, sat me down and expressed that they are not comfortable with having a stranger being at our house. Does she live with? Does your girlfriend live? They also accused her of stealing tampons from the bathroom and claimed that her taking showers at our house, using the bathroom, etc., would be an issue as she does not pay utilities. I pointed out the hypocrisy in the fact that my roommate's girlfriend would come over quite often when they first started hanging out and eventually moved in with us, which I was hesitant about but ultimately cool with. The kicker is that my girlfriend is literally homeless or unhoused. She lost her job, her roommate went to jail, and she is temporarily staying with her mom, but her mom is kicking her out. I'm going to get my own place now. I guess my question is, should I shit on the floor before I leave? No. I have a few thoughts about this. Well, here's the thing. This is all moot. Here's the main thought about this, is it's all moot because you're gonna get your own place. So who gives a fuck about the situation at all? Because you've already made the decision about what you're gonna do. So yeah, whatever, dude. Here, I guess if this is the situation, like, you sound like you're pissed off still at these people by saying, should I shit on the floor before I leave? So why don't you just get your own place, live with your girlfriend, shit on your own floor if you really need to shit on a floor, and just let the emotions of it be in the past and just fucking be with your girlfriend and hang out. That's what I was gonna say, get your own place. I mean, honestly, by the way, I kind of see what your roommate and his girlfriend did have a point. And I get that there's a hypocrisy that you're saying of like your roommate's girlfriend would come over, but it's the roommate's girlfriend now lives in, none of this matters, you're moving out. But the roommate's girlfriend now lives in the house with you guys and I assume pays for the rent and utilities. So, yeah, they sounded like they had a point of some kind. And that's a bummer. It's a bummer that your girlfriend was dealing with a lot of problems. I feel for that. But it's totally not your roommate or your roommate's girlfriend's responsibility to, like, to deal with that, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't matter. You're getting your own place. Shit on your own floor. Pick the shit up from the floor and grab it and smell it and rub it all over yourself and eat it and put it back into your asshole. Just for fun. Just to see what it's not. That has nothing to do with anything that you've said in this email, but just do it for fun. Just to see what it's like. You know? Just to see what would happen. All right. Let's keep going. Hello, Mr. Gecko. This is from Nathan. I just learned that fighter jets can hover in place. Crazy. Have you considered doing gaming streams or videos, or would that dilute the persona? I don't really think I have a persona. Honestly, like, can I just rant for a second? I really think, like, expressing opinions on the internet makes me feel so uncomfortable. Like just now, like this is one of the reasons every single one of these email podcasts, after I record them and I send them over to Brandon, who edits the podcast, and like we schedule them to post them, I really get nervous and anxious, and I'm like, what did I say on that podcast? Because because I don't want to give takes. I kind of don't. But I know I do, naturally. That's if you have a podcast and you're talking and people are asking you things and they're telling you about their lives, it's impossible to not give a take. I don't mind having takes and thoughts and opinions. It's just when you write them in ink on the internet, it's like they're there forever, and you know, 99% of the time when I think something, someone will tell me something and I'll be like, oh, all right, whatever, you know. So I don't like, I'm putting like a lot of words out there on the internet, which deeply makes me feel uncomfortable. But the only other option would be to never say anything ever, which was kind of boring to me. And you know, I professionally create this podcast that I've been doing this for 4 or 5 years. So it's too late, number one. But then number two, it's like, how do I have a podcast but not say anything? That's my dream. Can I figure that out? How do I have a podcast where I talk to people about their lives but just not say anything? And I do have a lot of podcasts where I just don't say anything. And then I was like, let me just start doing one where I say everything, all the things. And I don't know if I'll regret it, but like, also what's the worst is going to happen is someone is like, I didn't like what you said about that guy's life. And then I just, you know what I'll do? I'll just go outside, dude. Isn't that crazy? Anytime you want, God, really, anytime you want, you can just go outside. And it's all there. Do you ever, is it crazy that like you forget that sometimes? Anytime you want, you can just turn off your computer and go outside. And it's like nothing on your computer was ever existed. It's really crazy. It's a crazy thing. I'm not even saying this facetiously. I'm saying this with utmost, utter sincerity. Whoever wrote me that, if anyone, by the way, just so I'm clear, if anyone is listening to this podcast and I responded to your email and you didn't like what I said, I'm sorry. I probably didn't mean it. I don't know. I'm crazy. Let's keep going. Let's keep talking to people. Oh yeah. Why did I go on that rant? Would that dilute your persona? I don't really have a persona. I don't have a persona. I have a costume. And I guess I do have a persona. I guess if you speak publicly on a podcast or a video or something, you are doing like a heightened version of how you would normally speak. But I don't think it's different. I just think it's like amplified. I would do a gaming stream. I think that could be fun. Play some Melee. Okay, that's not the whole email. I think it would also for these rant episodes, you could make a PO box to get real mail from people. That would be kind of cool. I'm just too lazy to do that. They make crazy stuff from the videos I've seen, but then you also have to say everything is really good, and some of it might be like not or something. Do I have to say everything is really good? I don't have to. I'd probably be inclined to. I'd probably feel guilty if I didn't, but I don't have to. Do you have any game recommendations for me or anyone? What have I been playing lately? Well, I just finished Link's Awakening on the Switch. I played a little bit of The Last of Us, and then I got stuck and didn't care about it anymore. I'm probably going to download Echoes of Wisdom, and then I'm going to get Mario and Luigi Brothership. Those are the next two on my list. I kind of want to get the new Mario Party. There is no way this is making this to the pod, is there? Well, buddy, guess what, Nathan? Guess what, Nathan? All you had to do to make it to the podcast was to ask me questions about myself, and I would go, I will happily talk about myself for forever, as people love to do. Well, thanks for emailing me, Nathan. Okay, hi Lyle. This is from Cooper. Hi Lyle. I don't have much to say except there are 2 crackheads living under the bridge like a minute away from my house. It started as one like 2 months ago, but recently another has moved in too. They aren't causing problems besides the occasional schizophrenic episode where the original yells at himself. Jesus Christ. Not looking for advice. This is weird, Cooper. I don't like this. The original. They're not fucking Pokemon. They're human beings. Not looking for advice, just giving support from the shit-filled holler of Kentucky. Well, I mean, that sucks. I don't know. I feel bad for they're living under a bridge. Dude. Like, that sucks. You know? Why don't you go hang out with them for a second? Why don't you go hang out with these guys? You clearly don't view these people as remotely human beings. So you should go under the bridge and just talk to these people. And just see if they'll speak, if they'll say anything to you. You could learn something. Who knows? I don't know. Or maybe you'll start doing crack with them. You know what could happen? You know what I really want to happen? I want you to go to the bridge. You meet these two guys, and they offer you a little bit of crack, and you're like, you know what? Sure, I'm being open-minded. I'm gonna take some crack. And you're like, you know what? Crack's actually pretty awesome. I get why you guys are living under this bridge. And then you become addicted to crack. And then now there's 3 of you guys. There's 3 crackheads living under the bridge, and you guys have a good. You'll just you know, maybe it'll be good for you to do crack with these guys and just learn a little bit about them. That's what I would do if I were you. I would go talk to these guys. See what's going on with them. All right, I'll do. How long have I been going for? I'll do one more. What do you guys think of this podcast? Let me know in the comments if. Okay, I've done 3 of these so far now. And like I said, I get nervous every time I do these. I really do. I feel like I'm nervous right now about this. Not even because, like, yeah, yeah. So let me know in the comments if you enjoy listening to this, if you have thoughts. All right, let me do one more email. Okay. Okay, this is from Deplex. Seeking advice on job advancement. Okay. Hey, Mr. Geck, I hope this message finds you well. About a year ago, I applied for a manager position on a whim. Honestly, I never expected to get it, especially since I lacked the experience at the time. I regretfully admit that I may have exaggerated my qualifications on the application. Now, having spent a year in this role, I have gained valuable knowledge and skills. However, my boss has recently approached me about moving up to a general manager position, which comes with increased responsibilities. I'm feeling quite overwhelmed as I know I'm not fully prepared for this new role. While I recognize that this opportunity offers better pay and growth potential, I'm apprehensive about taking on such a significant change. I would greatly appreciate any advice you have on how to best navigate this situation. Totally take the job. I don't even have to think about this. Take the job, and you'll grow into it. It's like this is like classic shit. Like, I mean, look, bro, you went into the original job lacking experience, and you've been there for a year, and you're fine. You grew into it. That's how, like, growth works, man, is you go out and try to do something that you didn't think you were prepared to do or able to do, and you face yourself with it, and you grow. Yeah, this is kind of a classic thing. What'd you think I was? What's the alternative? Never do anything? Actually, that sounds awesome. You could totally do that too. That sounds great. Never doing anything. Yeah. You know what? I know I just said a bunch of like motivational shit, but I take it all back. You should not. You should just quit your job and see if you can live with your parents and see if they'll make you food and just play video games all day and get high. That sounds awesome. I'm not even being facetious. That really sounds great. Okay, so I'll say this. You should go and take this job. I think you'll grow into it. I think you'll get the right, I think you'll grow into it. But, worst case scenario, if you get fired, like, living with your mom and eating chicken nuggets and playing video games is pretty awesome. So your life's going to be great no matter what. I hope you take solace in that. All right, well, that was my third try at GECKMAIL. I don't know how it went. I'm actually nervous about it. So let me know if this was any enjoyable to you as a listener of this podcast. Let me know if you have thoughts, feelings, and sentiments about anything. And thank you guys for listening. Once again, I'm about to go and do a bunch of live shows. I'm in Minneapolis on the 24th. I am in Berlin, Manchester, London, Cologne, Dublin, Glasgow, also in November. And you can get tickets for all those at therapygeckotour.com. Thanks for listening. Thanks for humoring me while I make attempts to do a new thing. Thanks for bearing with me. Thanks for having some faith in me. I'm going to try to have faith in life as well. And, it's funny. It's so funny. The first time I did the GECKMAIL thing, I was like, I might just never do calls again. I might just do this. I'm having so much more fun doing this. And then, I think my optimism faded a little bit. And now I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go back to doing phone calls. But, I'm glad I tried something. And I will do more of this. But, yeah. Anyway. All right. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. I'm sick of myself. Thanks for listening. And I'll see you guys around the universe.